Hello, hello! My name is Callista, and welcome back to Danganronpa 2, Goodbye Despair. In the last episode, the killer's plan was beginning to unravel. The students have realised that the video that Hajime saw was not real, it was fake. It was taken at the conference room. Meanwhile, Ibuki was probably already dead at the time. There's no probably about it. She would have been dead by the time Hajime saw that film. So it's all starting to unravel. We're coming to the end. I can feel it. Make the music venue, the crime scene, look like the conference room.
They did that by using the black curtain hanging at the back of the stage.
From what I remember, there used to be a really flashy curtain, but after the incident...
I did not notice that curtain. To be honest, I thought that was the back wall. I did not realise that a black curtain had been added. I get the print is so garish on that back wall. I just blocked it out of my mind. So that's interesting. I didn't actually notice that.
It somehow became a plain black curtain that didn't seem to be the right size.
That's right! It's so half-assed, just like Monami.
Usami isn't half-assed. How dare you?
Oh yeah? Well, your face looks stupid.
Usami, bless you, Usami. Bless your heart. Do you want a second go at that, love?
That curtain was hung so the music venue would look like the conference room?
Indeed.
In actuality, even though the curtain in the conference room doesn't stand out, it is a black light-blocking curtain that's long enough to reach the floor.
I see. The conference room. Indeed, the floor of that room is... the same color as the music venue stage. So the killer chose the conference room because they realized the floor matched.
Matching floors, matching curtains. I guess it makes sense you'd mistake the two.
But that's not all. There should be something else the killer did to tamper with the evidence. Probably.
Something else the killer did to make the music venue look like the conference room? It's gotta be that. Okay, I wish you'd give me more time to read the whole sentence. So far we haven't brought up the candle, so give me a minute. It has to be the candle. Because, I mean, when you've got dodgy lighting, there's not really much that you can make out. Yeah, it has to be the candle.
I can prove it with this! You're referring to the candle in the music venue, right? In the video I saw, a candle was used for lighting. But if you think about it, that's pretty strange. The music venue has good lighting, so there's no reason to even use candlelight.
But wouldn't they have done it to make it feel creepier?
Oh, Mikan, I love that you're trying to use logic here. I love that you're trying to use logic to try and wiggle your way out of this, but no. No, it's not working, love.
That might have been another reason, but... the main reason was probably to tamper with evidence.
Because with the bad lighting, you'd only really be looking... I'm using my mouse here, you can't see my mouse. You'd really only be able to see what was in the center of the screen. You wouldn't be able to pick out any, like, minor differences. And also, the candle would go out, meaning that there wouldn't be that awkward moment where Mikan reached the top of the stepladder, reached for the rope, and then just stood there like, what do I do now? I'm obviously not gonna hang myself, but,
The lighting in the conference room and the music venue are so different. They couldn't be used during filming. That's why the killer used a candle as film lighting instead.
Which means... are you saying the candle in the music venue wasn't actually used?
probably not.
That candle was likely placed there just to make me think it was the same candle that was used in the video.
Yeah, it was surplus to requirement.
With candlelight, you can't see things in that much detail. Maybe they were going for that effect. With that cheap-ass camera, it won't capture much in a dark area.
As long as this all matches up, it should be no problem to say this is decided. The video I saw wasn't filmed at the music venue. It was actually filmed at the hospital conference room.
And how many people were at the hospital? You, Mikan, and the 2 sick people who couldn't have done it.
If I'd found proof that evidence in the conference room was altered, we would have reached an answer sooner. But it appears the killer already covered that up, so I didn't find anything when I went there.
But there's no mistake. That's the only place within the connection range of the surveillance camera.
The motel would have been too far, and the interior design of the movie theater is too distinctive.
But this must be a surprising turn of events for Hajime. You never suspected that the video you saw in the hospital was being filmed in the conference room.
The incident isn't happening at the scene of a crime, it's occurring in the conference room.
Oh, okay, Sonia. I'm loving the can-do attitude, but what? I feel like I've heard Bayside Cops say that before, but isn't it the other way round?
If Ibuki's hanging video was filmed at the hospital's conference room, then was Ibuki killed at the conference room too?
No, she was killed at the music venue.
No, that's not possible. Right after Hajime saw that video, he discovered Ibuki's body at the music venue.
That video was filmed at the conference room, but Ibuki's body was at the music venue. Which means there was a fake somewhere. The fake must have been... Yeah, it was the Ibuki in the conference room. The Ibuki at the music venue was real.
I see! The person wearing the hint bag in that video wasn't Ibuki. It was the killer pretending to be Ibuki. The killer put on a hospital gown, wore a hint bag on their head, and was only pretending to be the victim.
By that time, the real Ibuki must have already been killed.
The actual time of death must have been earlier. Probably around midnight or dawn to avoid witnesses.
If they took Ibuki from the music venue to the hospital to kill her, there's no way it happened during the day.
So that's what happened. Then no matter how quickly I ran, it was impossible for me to rescue Ibuki. At that moment, I was already in the killer's trap. And the one who set a trap for me was...
But why did the killer go to the trouble of making a fake video just so Hajime could go to the crime scene?
The reason the killer made a fake video... There's only one possibility I can think of. And if I examine that possibility thoroughly, then naturally the killer's identity will reveal itself.
Huh?
You fiend! Are you saying you already know who the killer is?
I mean, I've known for a while. That's right, I should already know. I should have already known who the killer is. Bitch! I'm coming for you, bitch. If I can, there we go. Where you at? You!
You're the only one! Mikan, you're the killer, aren't you?
No. I'ma just grab that quickly.
What are you talking about?
Like I said, aren't you the killer who murdered Ibuki and Hyoko?
Killer? Huh? I'm the killer? What is this?
And she's using that facade again. That facade of, oh, aren't I weak and pitiful? And aren't I crying? Oh, pity me, pity me.
Hey, don't you think that's kinda impossible?
No, because there were only 2 people in the hospital that were mentally there. Mikan and Hajime.
A chick like her as the killer? She couldn't even kill a fly. In fact, the fly would probably kill her first.
Again, y'all are going off like, oh, isn't she sweet? and she keeps ending up in these really odd predicaments where she's humiliated. Oh, like, has it not occurred to you that she's been putting herself in those predicaments? Has it not occurred to you that that aspect of her personality could be fabricated?
She's right!
No, she's not.
A clumsy slowpoke like me killing someone? That's completely out of the question.
I get putting herself down like, oh, I'm so clumsy. I'm a slowpoke. I couldn't have possibly done it. Yes, you could. Yes, you could. You're the only one who would know to fuck about with the heating.
But we're the only ones.
Yeah.
Thanks to that video, we're the only ones who have the advantage of an alibi.
Except she doesn't, because she wasn't with you when you saw the thing.
An alibi? Was that the killer's goal?
Mm-hmm.
Now that you mention it, you guys brought that up earlier. Only Hajime and Mikan have an alibi.
It's just a coincidence!
But you're the only one who could have filmed that video in the hospital conference room. Is that also a coincidence?
Here's the thing, I've said this before, I think Mikan she's a lot more competent, she is a lot more capable, and she is a lot stronger than you would ever give her credit for. Than the students would ever give her credit for, because she has kept up this like, oh, I'm weak, oops, I tripped over and my goodies were showing, oh no, like she's kept up that persona the entire time, so no one would ever realize just how capable she is. And I will say, I don't think that this has been her goal. I think that that's just how she survived high school. To be honest, and maybe I should have mentioned this earlier, I did something very similar to Mikan myself when I was in high school. I didn't go out of my way to humiliate myself. I went out of my way to make myself appear stupid. I was a lot smarter than any of my classmates would give me credit for, because literally every time we had a test, the only question I would get right is spelling my own name. I would go out of my way to answer as many questions incorrectly, because I'll get into this afterwards, but the reason why I've been saying like she's putting up this persona is because I'm like, I see you, girl. I see you. We are doing practically the same thing, or we were doing practically the same thing. Like knows like. I see you, girl. No one is thinking about how capable she is. No one is seeing that she's, I would argue, scarily intelligent. I mean, she's a nurse. She knows how to do an autopsy. She must be incredibly bright. And when people put up personas and they put up those walls of like, oh, I'm going to pretend to be this, it can be very jarring when that suddenly drops and you see the real them. And I don't know what she's going to be like when she gets rid of this bullshit, you know, like, oh, I'm weak and helpless. Like, but as soon as she drops that, I think she's going to be a wee bit scary. And I'm waiting for it. It's coming. I know it's coming, because we're going to back her into a corner and she's going to have no other option but to defend herself with the full force of her personality. Am I making sense here? I hope I'm making sense. Shouldn't you get some rest already? You should be exhausted from nursing without any sleep, right?
Then, if you insist, I will use the on-call room upstairs. You must be mentally exhausted, so it's better if you relax in the lobby instead.
At that time, you said you were going to the on-call room, but you actually went to the conference room. That's when you put on a hospital gown that you prepared in advance, put the bag on your head, and began filming. By doing that, you made up a video that showed Ibuki trying to hang herself at the music venue. And showed that to me.
She's slipping. She's slipping and I'm getting nervous.
Furthermore, I saw that video at the hospital lobby. If someone wants to go to the conference room from outside, they have to pass through the lobby.
So it's impossible that someone who wasn't already in the hospital went to the conference room to film.
Not only that, the others in the hospital, Akane and I, were both delirious from the despair disease.
So that must mean...
Please, wait a second. What are you saying? I'm the killer? That's impossible! There's no way I could kill someone!
It's not literally impossible. Can't you give a better defense than that?
It just shows she can't even do that.
Hey, you sure this chick is really the killer?
Wrong! It's totally wrong! It's not what you think!
Just like Akane said, it is really hard to tie it all together. I mean, Mikan is the killer?
They all view her as weak. They all view her as the least likely of people.
I agree. It is truly difficult to believe someone could be killed by such a slow-witted woman.
One, why are you putting emphasis on woman? Two, she's a nurse! What do you mean, slow-witted? She's a nurse!
That slow-witted remark is not necessary.
Thank you, Sonia!
It's fine. I've been like this for a long time. In a tournament for social punching bags, I'd easily win first place with my soft reputation.
Again, trying to make everyone feel sorry for her.
Even I can't deny that. How many times do I have to tell you? It's impossible for me to kill someone. I'm serious. Very serious.
To be honest, I think she's stalling for time. I think, because she's intelligent. She's very intelligent. I think she's doing this because she can't quite think of a reason. Like, right now, her only course of action is like, oh, I didn't do it. I'm weak. I'm a slowpoke. I'm a social punching bag. But as soon as something clicks into place in her brain, as soon as her brain comes up with a, aha, there's a flaw in your argument, she's gonna change up real quick. I'm telling you.
What do you say, Hajime?
Do you still believe this woman is the killer?
Yep.
Do you hate me that much, Hajime?
I mean, he'd be well within his rights. You sexually harassed him this morning.
Hey, Hajime!
Oh, don't feel guilty. Don't feel guilty. Everyone's ganging up on me. Tricks aside, logic aside, is she really capable of doing something like this? Guys, she's been looking at the corpses. If she were as weak and pathetic as you all think she is, she would not be capable of handling the corpses. Why would you trust her with the autopsy? Why would you trust her with looking after you all when you were sick? If you genuinely believe she is this slow-witted. Could it be I'm the one making a mistake? Nope. No. In fact, it'd be so much easier if I was wrong. If I have this much doubt about someone I've spent so much time with.
Can you hold on a minute?
Oh, here comes Nagito like, I'm about to save the day and ruin this bitch. Huh?
Well, I know I'm being intrusive and all, and I mean, I have no place to say this. I missed all of the critical parts, and I doubt I have anything worth saying at an important time like this.
What are you saying?
But still, there's definitely no way I can overlook the killer this time.
Because she contracted the despair disease. Like, I think I was saying this earlier and I didn't exactly follow my line of thought to the end. I don't think Mikan, upon hearing that, like, oh, there's a killing school game, blah, 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 blah. I don't think she was like, right, I'll pretend to be weak and all of that to get everyone on my side so that when I do kill, like they'll all believe me. I don't think that was her intention. I think she's a young woman who has been bullied, and this is the best tactic she's found to get through high school. I don't think she had any malicious intent at the beginning, but she contracted the despair disease. And I guess she contracted the murderous despair disease, something like that. And she's now benefiting off of the fact that she has this reputation for being someone who couldn't hurt a fly. Again, I hope that makes sense. Huh?
I thought it was suspicious all along, from the very beginning. Investigating with the suspect in mind creates a different result than investigating with no leads.
Hey, what are you trying to say?
Well, thanks to that, I was able to discover a truth that nobody else knows.
Oh, okay.
What? Are you serious?
I've been so focused on everybody else this trial. But I guess now's a good time to say it, right?
You better not have kept quiet on purpose. This isn't a game, you know.
Actually, this is a game.
Fourth wall breaking.
Please don't say such controversial statements.
Well, what do you know, Nagito?
Well, it's nothing big, really. Only a small, decisive clue that points to the killer.
Dang, that's a huge deal.
A decisive clue? Does something like that really exist?
Probably.
Let's take a look, shall we? Regarding the rope Ibuki was dangling from. This rope was supplied by the supermarket, right? There weren't any ropes inside the music venue.
Again with the supermarket? That place is a hotspot for criminal goods.
If they got it at the supermarket, that means it was brand new, right?
What's wrong with that?
I want you to take a close look at this rope, and keep in mind that it's brand new. Near the middle of the rope, it's frayed, as if it was rubbed strongly.
Oh.
But why is it like this? The loop Ibuki used to hang herself is on one end of the rope, and the part of the rope that hung from the baton lighting is on the other end.
Hey, you're taking too long. What's wrong with the rope being frayed?
It means, well, from what I can infer, I think the rope was used like this. The killer wrapped the rope around Ibuki's neck, pulled both ends at full strength, and strangled her.
That is a good shot. I don't know if I'm going to be able to use that as a thumbnail, but damn, that's a good shot. I said before there was a pretty good chance that the killer just said, hey, look that way, strangled her, and then tied the noose, tied the thing to the...
The center of the rope is frayed because that's the part they used to strangle Ibuki.
Hold on. I've been listening to you for a while, and it sounds like you knew about this rope clue all along. What exactly did you say to me during the investigation?
So this rope won't be much of a clue. Then I might as well search another place.
Not everyone cooperates at a class trial. Those who lie and conceal the truth will obviously be here too. Just like this case's killer. I was just copying them a little bit.
Huh?
I mean, Hajime, you can't... It would be very hypocritical of Hajime to be mad at Nagito right now. The others, yeah, fair, but not Hajime, because Nagito literally asked Hajime, hey, can you tell me what happened during the trial? And Hajime was like, no, I'm not going to cooperate with you. You refused to cooperate with him, and he refused to cooperate with you. It would be very hypocritical of you to have a go at him for doing that when you weren't willing to cooperate. Everyone else, they have, like, if they want to be mad at Nagito, like, that's fair, because I don't believe any of them refused to cooperate with him. If they were cooperating to their fullest and he was holding stuff back, that's a shitty move. But Hajime, You can't claim like, oh, why did you hold that back from me? Because you were holding stuff back on him. Like, don't be a hypocrite, Hajime.
More importantly, what was all that about the rope? The killer strangled Ibuki. And then?
And then, I finished speaking.
Huh?
How is that a decisive clue?
Huh? You didn't notice it? I thought I made the decisive clue very clear.
Nagito's words contain a decisive clue? Is that really true? Mikan said something about the rope. She said something about the rope like, oh yeah, it must have been used this way. And as she's a nurse, she should have known that, like, no, that's not how she died. So why would she lie? Oh. Okay, make your argument. I don't know here.
Ibuki didn't die from hanging. She was strangled to death.
That's basically the same thing.
No, it's not.
Though hanging and strangling seem similar, they're very different. The scars they leave would look different too.
Scars? You mean the rope burn, right?
But we believed it was from a hanging. Why would that be?
Did we fall for someone's lie?
The body at the crime scene was hanged, you know. Obviously, we'd assume it was a hanging.
The Monokuma file complicates this too. It never specified hanging or strangulation.
Whoever misunderstood is to blame.
Madam, that would be you. Ibuki's true cause of death was strangulation. That fact is the decisive proof that will lead to the killer. Is that true?
Ibuki didn't die from hanging. She was strangled to death.
That's basically the same thing.
Though hanging and strangling seem similar, they're very different. The scars they leave would look different too.
Scars? You mean the rope burn, right?
But we believed it was from a hanging. Why would that be?
Did we fall for someone's lie?
The body at the crime scene was hanged, you know. Obviously, we'd assume it was a hanging.
The Monokuma file complicates this too. It never specified hanging or strangulation.
Whoever misunderstood is to blame.
This is like the filming location thing. I think I know what the game wants. Mikan specified, Mikan was like, oh yeah, she died from hanging. I'm pretty sure that Mikan said that, like, oh yeah, she died from hanging, that's what happened. But because the things look different, as a nurse, she would know that that isn't the case. So in which case, why did she give false testimony? Why did she not say, like, oh no, she didn't die by hanging, she died by strangulation? So you know what, I think I'm gonna watch through this one more time because I can't tell if I need to absorb something here.
Ibuki didn't die from hanging. She was strangled to death.
That's basically the same thing.
Though hanging and strangling seem similar, they're very different. The scars they leave would look different too.
Scars? You mean the rope burn, right?
But we believed it was from a hanging. Why would that be?
Did we fall for someone's lie?
The
body at the crime scene was hanged, you know.
Lie.
Obviously, we'd assume it was a hanging.
The Monokuma file complicates this too. It never specified hanging or strangulation.
Whoever misunderstood is to blame!
I feel like it's someone's. Maybe I'm making this a lot more complicated in my head than it actually is. So I think it's an agree.
Ibuki didn't die from hanging. She was strangled to death.
That's basically the same thing.
Though hanging and strangling seem similar, they're very different. The scars they leave would look different too.
Scars? You mean the rope burn, right?
But we believed it was from a hanging. Why would that
There
be?
goes my timer.
Did we fall for someone's lie?
That must be it!
I was overcomplicating it in my head.
So that's what happened. We've been falling for the killer's lie this whole time.
I expected autopsy results to be in there, so I never overcomplicate it. Never overcomplicate it. And with that, I'm going to bring this episode to a close right here. In the next one, we are going to tear Mikan's logic apart. We are going to make her confess. But until then, please remember to like if you enjoyed, leave a comment below, and if you wanted to subscribe, it would be very much appreciated. I've been Callista. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next episode.